You know the one feature about gimbals no one ever tells you about? Is they have multiple uses. See, I usually spill my drinks a lot. I'm a bit of a clumsy person, so I thought I would use the gimbal today to avoid getting anything on my chest. So this is how I take sips these days. So I press the button, do the movement into my mouth, so like a camera move, like. Easy, so much better. Am I right? What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Howe, and on most days I don't do silly stuff like this. I try to make great commercials. And one of the things that we worked on recently was our Toronto video that we just released, our mixed media, massive Sounds of the Six project. So what we're gonna be doing today is a full breakdown, how we got certain shots, how we made the song. So let's start off by watching that video again, but with the Premiere Pro timeline right beside it, so you can see what this thing looks like. This is your captain speaking. If you look out to your left, you can see the beautiful city of Toronto. We are now making our final descent. Please fasten your seatbelts. Every time. We're so proud of that video. It's funny because the video is actually called Toronto in 90 seconds, but truthfully, the video is 74 seconds. Toronto in 74 seconds. This doesn't have the same ring as Toronto in 90 seconds. Would you have clicked it if it said Toronto in 74 seconds? Let me know below. I have no idea. These are the weird things of YouTube trying to name videos. Okay, you're probably curious, how did you make this thing? Imagine you said it like so dramatic like that with like an echo.
How did you make this thing?
We're gonna break that down. This is an original song. There's all the sound effects that we use both from the city and from Epidemic Sound. We collect those all together and then made an original soundtrack. Well, how do you do that? And then how do you build a video? And then how do you work it backwards so that it makes sense? These are the questions that we asked ourselves when we made this. Here's how we did it. Got all the sound effects on location. Then once we found our selects, we collected more sound effects that needed to go with some of the visuals that we captured. So we collected all the sound effects, committed to a timeline. So I'm gonna like, it's going aerial, transit, then it's gonna go to food, then it's gonna go here. So I committed to a concept and a timeline for the video. Then I sent that to my friend Gabe, who is a music producer. And I told him, put all the sound effects in this order and give me this amount of bars for each section. So we built the song out of the sound effects and gave us this bass layer. We took that bass layer and did our first rough cut and added more sound effects to match the additional visuals that we added on top. Then we sent that final clip with all the new sound effects to Gabe to mix to turn into the final result that you saw. And that was our thought process when creating an original song with sound effects to make a video that matched the sound effects. Do you have any questions? I feel like I have questions. So going into this project, I had a vision in mind. I knew I wanted to shoot it on a multitude of different cameras, have a whole bunch of mixed media, have different aspect ratios, film grains, layer with a bunch of different things to make it seem unique and special. So it's good to kind of commit to a look and feel for your video because it's not all about, oh, this has to be the prettiest shot. It has to be shot on the best thing. It's like, no, I shoot certain things on phones because it actually supports the story better. All right, so let's talk about arguably the most impactful shot of the whole video. The one that literally every comment is like, ooh, that kick shot. Yeah. I'm so happy how that turned out. We almost didn't shoot it because we were like, I don't think this is gonna work. We're like, let's just do it anyways. I put Lucas on an Osmo 3 gimbal with my iPhone. We had the door open and then I ran up and I tried to kick the lens as close as possible. Here's that raw clip coming out of the subway hyperlapse. Okay, that works. not bad, but how do we make that more impactful? How do we make that more seamless? So what we did is we added a multitude of layers. So the first layer of effects that we added on top of it was a small zoom. We have that hyperlapse through the subway pulling back. That instantly makes that shot more seamless just by adding that zoom effect. The second layer that we added on top was a sound effect. So we went to epidemicsound.com because we don't have impact sounds from the location, and we looked up impact sounds. Found the one that made the most sense for that shot, and we added the sound effect. So here's the shot now with the zoom and the sound effect. A lot better. We're almost there, but we're gonna add one more thing. We're gonna add a post shake to the shot. Imagine if someone actually hit you, you probably wouldn't just be like, you'd probably be like, you move. So let's actually add some camera shake in post-production. So we did it in Premiere Pro. We added this like little movement here at the top, and boom, here are all the effects and sound effects together to create this final result. Just kind of hits you out of nowhere. You're like, boom, you're like, bah. Cool shot. So this video would not be half as good if it wasn't for Epidemic Sound and their massive library of music and sound effects that we could pick from. So thank you, Epidemic Sound, for sponsoring this week's episode. Now, we didn't use a song from Epidemic Sound in our actual music video because this is an original song, but we did use a ton of sound effects. In a lot of my other videos, including this one right now, we use Epidemic music all the time. They have 32,000 different songs that you can pick from genres, moods, albums, and even using a find similar feature. So it's important if you're making a video and you have a certain vibe or theme or mood going on in that video, at least you can find something that matches the previous music that you've been using within it. I can't stress this enough, especially as a business owner and an entrepreneur, use licensed music tracks and sound effects. So Epidemic Sound offers two plans, both a personal plan, which you can use all their music and sound effects for Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, any other future social media platform that exists. And then there's also a commercial plan for all the freelancers and business owners out there like myself. So if you guys want a free 30-day trial of either plan, you guys can use my link to sign up below. So let's get back to this breakdown. Fun fact, most of the hyperlapses, specifically these two right here, were shot on a phone gimbal with my iPhone 11 Pro Max with the Moment app using like their motion blur feature. If you guys want to learn how I did all that, I made a video on it previously, so you can click up here, but literally, this was one of the most powerful tools for making most of the content in this video. I want to mention one quick thing about this hyperlapse right here. Ah, so relaxing. So what we did here is we added a riser, and what adding a riser does, like the sound of like, it builds up tension so that right when you get to the top of it, you have a release of some sort. And what our release was actually a very calming release rather than like a big hit. So we did the opposite. Rather than going, we actually did, and we wanted to create more dynamics in our video, just like a normal song has an intro, chorus, a bridge that's more chill, and then goes right back into the chorus. We wanted to do the exact same thing in this video here. And by adding risers, you can create that effect. We're literally throwing the audience right back into the action. And then that first shot, the bike shot, is a classic example of you can't argue with the results. So what we did is I took the phone gimbal and then took my phone and then literally strapped it to the inner part of my bike. Sorry guys, this is PG-13 material coming up. And then I had to bike with my legs all wide like this so that I could get that shot. And it turned out great. Just saying, you can't argue with results. Boom, we're jumping into the culture. We're jumping into like the sports, the village, everything else that Toronto represents. Okay, guy doing a backflip.
Chris, how do you get a guy doing a backflip?
So we were literally almost done shooting for the day. We had been biking the whole time. I was so tired and we're like, you know what? We're just gonna take the subway home and just go. So we're literally walking into the subway at Yonge and Dundas, and there's this guy, he's just kind of like, popping and locking in the corner. And both Lucas and I look at each other and are like, should we just ask him if he like want to be in our video? So I told him, I was like, hey, I'll give you 20 bucks. Do you mind if I just shoot like 5 minutes of you dancing, popping and locking in the center there? And he's like, yeah, no problem. I can do some stuff for you. So I have my gimbal set up. I'm ready to shoot. He's like, you ready? I'm gonna start with a backflip. So literally he danced for us, doing backflips, handstands, spinning around, popping and locking. Little takeaway there is don't be afraid to ask, carry some cash on you so you can get moments like this where it really ties the video together. Guys, I'll gladly go through the comment section and answer some questions if you have any like like specifics on like, how did you do this thing right here? Because this video can just become super, super long and breaking down every little part. But I thought I'd give you some insight into some of the things that helped create this video, the sound effects that we use, and all the other things that made this video what it was. So if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments below. This was one of those videos where I had wanted to make it for such a long time. I was like, I don't know if this video will do well. I don't know if it's gonna be worth putting all the time into it. It's gonna be hours of labor. It's gonna cost money. It's gonna do X, Y, and Z. And I would just like talk myself out of wanting to create things like this. Classic creative, like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be horrible. This is the worst thing I've ever made. Actually, this is great. This is the best thing I've ever made. I went through all those feelings. It will happen to you. But what I want you to leave with is believe in your own ideas. If you guys go and create anything out in the world, please send me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to see what you guys are up to, especially if you create something about your city. I just wanna see people hyped right now and feeling positive and stoked about the world, because I think that stuff is really important in a time like this. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys know what time it is. Hi everyone, my name's Chris, and when I see people dance, I say, hey, I like your pops and locks. It's so cool. Can you teach me how to pop and lock? I would like that. But you know what you could do to make me cooler right now? Just like this video. And by pressing the like button, the cool factor goes up. Just a little bit. Just this much. And I need that. I need that confidence boost in my life right now. Or I'm gonna keep saying pop and lock to people. And you know, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. So like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for future videos. Pop and lock. We're trying to film the intro for this video, and there's a fly. A little, tiny, itty bitty fruit fly. And I'm trying to talk to the camera and it'll just go right by my eyes. Kind of feel like no, I was gonna say I felt like Mike Pence. I never want to feel like Mike Pence. Oh boy. They have over 32,000. They have over 32 different songs to pick from. I literally keep saying it. It's 32,000 different songs to pick from. Popping and locking.